right. Well, you guys, welcome back. If you are new here, we are the Habit team. The Habit is a nutrition coaching company made for women by women. Our program is built for you with coaches who put your goals, lifestyle, and personality first. If you want to learn more about us, head to the episode notes or go to thehabit.com. That's habit with a Y to either request more information or book your free discovery call.
Hello. Welcome to the Habit podcast. Today you have Coach Kristen Kraft and Coach Fairlane on the mic. Today we're going to be talking about fitness trackers, specifically the Oura Ring and the Whoop, because that's what Fairlane and I both have.
Yes.
We were discussing before the show. We're not entirely sure how to say it. I say it Whoop, but it could be Whoop. So hopefully you know what we're talking about. But yeah, we get questions about them, and I know there's a lot of hype about them right now. So we thought we would just share our experience and kind of what we like about them, what we don't like about them, and just generally what they kind of each include.
Yeah.
So Fairlane has the Oura Ring.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you had that?
I think it was like April. So, I mean, not that long, but it feels like it's a little to April, May, June, July. So, 4 months or so.
Yeah, I've only had mine for 2 months. I kind of went back and forth on it for the longest time.
I remember we were talking about that.
Yeah, like literally for years, I've been trying to decide, like, should I get one? Should I not? A part of me is like, why do I care to see that information? Do I need a device to tell me how I slept and all of that stuff? But ultimately, I decided just to do it, and I've been happy with it. Do you like yours overall?
I do, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you had the Apple Watch at one point in time, and kind of switching from that to this, definitely. Like, I had the watch for so long that, like, it was almost to a point where it got really annoying with all the notifications. I know you could turn it off, but it was like,
Totally agree.
it just like, I don't know, it just didn't vibe with me anymore. And I wasn't tracking anything for a long time other than my steps. And then I think a sale came up, and Brandon, my husband, was like really been wanting to track his sleep lately. So I was like, let's just do it. And then we both got it, and that was really the beginning of it. So it's been good.
That's kind of what we did too, because I just got it like 2 months ago, but when I signed up, I got a free gift to whoever for 2 months. So Jordan's wearing it now too. But
oh, nice.
We were both the same way with the Apple Watch. Like mine still works, but it's just in my drawer. But I was so tired of constantly getting notified.
Yeah.
And I would even turn it on airplane mode, and somehow they would still come through, like if my Wi-Fi was on.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm the type of person that if I see a notification, like I want to go respond to it. Yeah. So it would drive me nuts. I will say my one thing, I kind of miss having the time on there, because I feel like I never know what time it is now. So I do miss that. I wish there was like a teeny tiny clock on it, but I feel very nice not to have my Apple Watch on.
Yeah. Yeah, I switched to Garmin to just track my steps, and I still wear my Garmin for basically the time. But I do, when I first got the Aura, I did compare like the steps of how much like the difference is, because there is obviously the algorithm and like how the technology works on each devices are all different. But there's definitely a significant change in between the Garmin and the Aura too, with just tracking steps.
What about compared to the Apple Watch?
When I did the Apple Watch, I wore the Apple Watch and I wore a pedometer, and it was switching that, and the pedometer was very low, because it's definitely
very serious about our steps around here.
Right. But yeah, I mean the Apple Watch, like I remember painting, and like it told me I got like over 20,000 steps because of like the back and forth of like the rolling. So yeah, obviously it's not accurate either. But I always I always tell my clients too, like the reason why we track steps is because there really isn't a way for us to know how much movement we get in through the day, right? That's just like the easiest way of tracking how active you are throughout the day. So it's not necessarily like, it doesn't need to be as accurate, but having an idea, like if you're doing 2,000 steps, then yes, you're mainly sedentary for the day. But if you're getting, 7 plus, like you're moving around, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think
that's such a good point, because I think we think of NEAT as just steps, but really it's any it's even like talking with your hands and fidgeting and stuff like that. So maybe that is a good way if it's picking up painting, like
Yeah.
you're still being active,
Yes, exactly.
if you're standing, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's been fun to have data to look at.
Whoop actually, I don't know when they came out with the newest one, but I had trialed the older one.
Mhm.
And I feel like the steps on that were wildly inaccurate. Like I was suddenly getting like 15,000 steps, and I usually am like a 9 to 10K type of person.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is not. We did a road trip one day, and it said that I had like 7,000 steps after the road trip, probably because I was like twirling my hair. But I'm like,
Just
this is
giving
so
toddler
inaccurate.
snacks in the back like
Yeah,
this.
seriously. But then I got the newer one, and I wore my Apple Watch for a couple days
Yeah.
to compare, and they were pretty close. A
Okay.
little bit off, but like overall pretty close. But like you said, it's about the overall movement really
Mhm.
that matters anyway.
Yeah. With that too, like with the Whoop, I think like the first generation didn't have steps either. Like it
They
took them a
didn't.
while,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah. Because I also had the Whoop at the very beginning. Brandon did too, and like that when they first came out. So it's been a long time. And I to compare, obviously that technology. I mean, this was like I was saying. I'm thinking like 5 years ago. The technology back then to now is obviously changed so much, and I don't know, how it looks other than what I see on like the internet and such, but I don't have like personal experience as to the Whoop. But have you enjoyed like looking at the data so far?
Yeah, I have. That's actually kind of why I think I took so long to get it too, because I didn't like that before it didn't have steps, because I
Yeah,
knew that I
yeah,
didn't want to wear my Apple Watch anymore, and I wanted to see where my steps were. But I do like it. Like you can kind of talk about the Oura Ring in a second, but with the Whoop, kind of the main things it's looking at is it's kind of geared more towards like fitness,
hmm,
and it gives you a recovery score and
yeah,
strain, which I'm still kind of trying to figure out the strain. It's basically your cardiovascular load for the day. So it's like your workouts, your stress load, overall activity, even like with sleep. So it kind of calculates all that,
hmm,
and it gives you a recovery score.
yeah,
So one of the things I like looking at a lot is the HRV. I'm sure the
yeah,
Oura Ring
yep.
does that too. So if you don't know what HRV is, it's heart rate
Variability.
variability. And you want it to be higher.
Yeah,
Higher indicates that like you can take on more workouts. Lower would be like if you're really stressed or tired or maybe getting sick, something like that. And everybody's different. So like you
hmm,
can't really compare. You want to look at your trends and baselines. You can't really compare them, but that's a big thing it looks at. And then like resting heart rate, how you slept, all of that stuff. And it gives you this recovery score. So I do like seeing that.
yeah.
I will say it kind of drives me nuts because I don't know if I just don't push myself in my workouts as much, but I cannot get like a higher strain. So when you have really good recovery, it's like, oh,
Yes.
you can like really push yourself today. And I'm like, feel like I'm dying in my workout, and then I barely get anything. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I need to bump it up a little bit. But I do like seeing all that.
Yeah, that's funny you say that because I remember when it first came out, and then Brandon and I both had the Whoop. I would like compete, like we would compete at like what our strain is. Like I'm always at like 19, 20. Like it was a ridiculous number. And this was when I was like working out like
Yeah.
twice a week and like coaching classes and all that stuff. But yeah, that's so funny that you mentioned that because I do remember that.
Well, yeah, we've been doing that too. And I feel like Jordan will throw on a weighted vest and like go walk around for 20 minutes,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
gets all this strain, and I do it and it's like point 0.5. I'm like, what? So I don't know. I don't know how accurate that part is. Who knows? But I do like seeing, I think especially key here is if you have an established fitness routine,
Yeah.
because you want to pay
Yes, that's
attention
true.
to it, but also you don't want to like use it as an
The
excuse.
only
Like
yeah.
if every day you're like, oh, not working out today, my recovery isn't perfect. But I do like adjust what I'm doing that day, or I might do some extra I've been trying to do more cardio
Mhm.
since I started wearing it, because I also realized like I used to do a lot of cardio, and
Yeah.
now I do very little, and cardio is still good, especially like zone 2. So
Yeah.
I have been trying to do more of that, and I like that it keeps track of your Apple Watch does that too, but I never looked at it
Yeah.
honestly, but I like seeing like how much zone 2 cardio I get throughout the week and that kind of thing.
Yeah, the Oura Ring does that too, which is really, really cool. And like, I would say the hard part about that is that, with the Whoop, and correct me if I'm wrong, like you could actually see where your heart rate is while you're working out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't honestly I mean, I look at it occasionally, but I
Yeah.
don't really like look at it a ton,
Yeah.
but
Well, if you're like trying to maintain a zone too, right? That's super helpful.
mhm.
The Oura Ring, you could track like a workout and it'll tell you where your heart rate is, but it doesn't show you in real time.
Gotcha. It's not
It'll
like a
tell you
live okay.
afterwards. Yeah. Yeah. I guess too, like the main difference between the Oura Ring and the Whoop is obviously the Whoop is worn on your
Mhm.
wrist, right? The Oura Ring, as everyone knows, it's a ring. So again, like the technology is a little bit different, but I think overall it kind of does similar at certain
Right.
certain data points, right? Like you said, the recovery and the strain. For the Aura, it's the recovery and the sleep. And I remember we were texting about this and like asking, like which would you recommend or what would you want? And I remember, I think our text was like, I think it depends on what you're wanting to track more than anything.
Yeah.
Like if you're someone that is having a really hard time with their sleep and really want to like dial that in, like Aura Ring is probably your best bet. If you're more so into like, understanding more of how you perform on your workouts, the Whoop is going to be your best bet. And again, they have very like a lot of similarities, but I think I would say the main message that we're trying to say here, like, yes, there's wearables, like, there's all different kinds, right? But not letting it dictate how you live your life is probably
Mhm.
our main message of really breaking both these things down and regardless of what you're wearing.
Yeah, I think it honestly kind of reminds me of supplements in a way, like, you wanna
Yeah,
use
yeah,
it
yeah.
as, like, a supplement,
Yeah.
and it's nice to see, but it's not, like, the only information. Ultimately, if your fitness tracker is telling you that you feel amazing, you slept amazing, but you feel awful, like,
Yeah.
listen to
Listen
your
to your
body,
body.
obviously.
Yes, yes, for
But
sure.
yeah, I think also Oura Ring it does really good like hormonal
It
cycle
does.
tracking and stuff like that. Whoop has started doing that, but I think
Okay.
Aura is a little bit ahead of them, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know if Whoop tracks temperature, but that's basically how
It does.
it does. It uh, figures out if you're getting your period, and I know like if you're getting sick too, like it kind of knows a symptom tracker or whatever that is. But that part is cool, although a little frustrated because I use Flow for my to track my periods, my menstrual cycle, and it says that they're connected and they're integrated, but it
They're
doesn't
not.
look like. Yeah, no, it's so frustrated because I tried to Google it and like tried to went to Reddit, nothing, and a lot of people have having issues with it. I mean, obviously, it's not the only reason why I bought it, but it would be nice to kind of see, what the Oura Ring distinguishes and like what it knows and how, like, just kind of knowing that information is kind of cool.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought to look into. I don't know if they integrate to any of those apps or
Mm,
not, but I do like seeing that, especially the temperature stuff. And it is
yeah.
really cool. Like you can honestly see that sometimes, probably not all the time, but it kind of tells you before you even maybe start
Yeah.
feeling sick
Yep.
that like something's up.
So,
And I have had it where I'm like, huh, my temperature is slightly elevated for 2 days before. And not even, it's not like I have an actual fever, but
yeah.
different from my
Yeah.
baseline. And then like something's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, like some infection that you don't really know what's going. Yeah. No, it is. I do like that too, but with the Oura Ring, like, having to when I first obviously started wearing it, I was definitely one of those that was just, like, looking at it almost, like, every hour. Now it's
Mhm.
definitely changed and kind of let it do its own thing, throughout the day. If anything, I just pay attention to the steps more than anything because at first, I wanna get my crown or my star or whatever. Like, do you get, like, a little reward or whatever, like a little marker that if you hit a certain goal.
If you set them, like, you can set
Okay.
your own personal ones
Yeah.
if you want to, you don't have to. But I was gonna ask you, is there anything you don't like about it? And I feel like you do have to be, I mean, same thing with the Apple Watch. Like, you
Yeah.
do have to be kinda careful. You could get
Yes.
obsessed with it pretty
Oh,
easily.
absolutely. Yeah. I would say for me, in terms of like data, I like all the stuff that it tells me. I would say my complaint is that the battery life, which we were just talking about this, like it promises, at least 7 days, but mine's like maybe 4 or 5 days now, and it's still fairly new. Um,
Yeah.
which is whatever, it's gonna happen. But I like that part. And I just try to like every time I shower, I just put it on the charger or whatever it is. But in terms of the data, there's really nothing that I don't like, and I like that I get, like, really nerdy with the, blogs that they post too and, like, just learn even more stuff about it. Again, like, take it, this grain of salt and walk away with the information that you think is gonna be relevant to you, but it's not gonna be the only like, I'm not just walking around following what my aura is telling me, which I'm sure you're not the same way either, but I think it's the just having some sort of data, when you're tracking macros, you want to do daily weigh-ins, you want to do your measurements. Like it's just that, right? But you're not letting a fluctuation of 3 pounds up from yesterday to today be like, okay, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
I think
Right.
I think that part is going to be something that needs to be communicated more and more, especially for someone that is still fairly new with the whole like wearables and just knowing these kinds of data too. Like, I mean, we've lived thousands, thousands of years without having to wear anything, and
Right.
we've survived.
Yeah, that's why I went back and forth on it for so
Yeah.
long because I'm like, I want one, but I'm like, why do I want one? Why do I want one of these? And
Yeah.
I mean, I like seeing the data, and maybe it is the nerdy side that I want to see all that
Yeah.
stuff. But at the end of the day, like, you can obviously do it without, but it is helpful to see some of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I will say, when you were just talking about, like, looking at it constantly, I started sleeping with my phone, which I kind of should have done this before anyway, but on the other side of my
Mm.
room, not
Yeah.
on my nightstand,
Yeah.
because I was noticing that was like the first thing I would look at when I wake up is
Yeah.
like, oh, what's my sleep score? How did I sleep
Yes.
last
Yep.
night?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now I'm like forcing myself, don't look at it until after I have breakfast.
Yeah.
So doing stuff like that, I had to kind of just like do that to put a boundary on myself because I did notice I was looking at it for that a lot.
That's a really good point. And yeah, and, you're gonna notice these behaviors start, especially if it's still it's new, it's brand new, you're excited. But yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. Before, it was like the first thing is like open up the Oura Ring app and see what it tells me, and then what do you do with the information? Nothing, and then you just like you just want
Right.
to see. But yeah, it's like that instant gratification, right? Um, what's so funny is like whenever I have to fly out, which I usually the time that we pick or that's the best is, like, usually, like, 5 in the morning, for a flight, and then I have to get up at, like, 3 because it's an hour away and parking, blah, 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 and, like, those even though I try to sleep early, I still don't get to bed until, like, later because you're trying to, pack, whatever it is, and my sleep score is always, like, in the 60s, and I'm like, "I can't survive, I can't survive," but then
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
my body well
You
enough,
get
I
in
was
your
like,
head about it.
"I'll be fine. Yeah, I'll be fine."
Yeah. Um, the one thing that I have noticed, I know you don't drink at all,
Yes.
so you've never noticed
Yeah,
it, but it is
no.
terrifying how much alcohol impacts your recovery, your heart rate variability, all of that. Like, even
Yeah.
1 or 2 drinks, it affects me so much. It does make you not wanna drink because
Yeah,
it's like, what is it doing to your body that it affects your
very good
sleep, it
point.
affects your heart rate? Like, it's kind of freaky to see it affecting your heart rate, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's one thing to just be like, "Oh, I don't feel good," but it's another thing to see like, "Oh, this is, like, actually affecting how my heart is working." Even
That's
just from 1 or
true.
2, not even like 5, 6
Yeah,
drinks.
yeah, yeah. That's very true. I never thought about that way too. Yeah, because I don't have that data, and I don't know if I ever
Yeah.
will.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
probably won't at this point.
Yeah, no.
Do you feel like it's helpful for people in general, like, if they're tracking macros or trying to lose weight, would you say they're helpful for people?
Um, I really think more than anything, it's gonna be just information of like movement and sleep. I think those are the two key things in terms of like, the performance of the workouts. I don't think it's not going to be a deal breaker. Like you're going to see changes regardless of knowing, what your recovery or strain is or whatnot. But I think for someone that like has had issues with just sleep in general and like maybe higher stress, I think it's a good way of trying to find out, the root cause of whatever that's coming from, and maybe try and do that and first before, supplementing or getting some sort of medication to help you. But yeah, I don't think that it's a deal maker. Deal breaker? Deal maker?
Deal breaker.
Deal breaker.
Deal.
I don't think
Either
it's
way.
a deal breaker.
It's
Yeah.
not one.
No. I think it's more more than anything, I think the sleep is important, and also the steps. But you can know your steps multiple different ways with different wearables. Even a pedometer if you really want to.
Yeah. And honestly, that might even be the most accurate.
It is the most accurate in terms of like actual steps for sure. Because
Yeah.
I remember when I did compared the Apple Watch to the pedometer when I had it, I was like, I am not moving.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. You're just painting all day.
yeah, exactly. And I think and the pedometer too doesn't track steps until it's a continuous until you're stepping in 10 step like continuously, and then it starts, so it doesn't even track those 10 steps or whatever
Those
it
like
is.
little mini. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing that Whoop does, to be honest, I don't use this feature that much, but it could be helpful. I don't know if you would really use this. Again, it's just kind of like a bonus, but I don't know if Aura does this. There's like a journal, and you can
Oh.
add all sorts of stuff to
Mhm.
it, like crazy things. Like there's tons of options you can pick to add to your specific journal. Like some of them were like, do you have monkeypox right now? I'm like, what? So just tons of stuff,
Yeah,
the sky's
yeah.
the limit for it. But you can put on ones like, how much protein did you have today? How many carbohydrates did you have? Did you eat fiber? Did you, all
Okay.
sorts of different things. And then it gives you can click on like your daily to see how different habits hurt or improve your scores. So after you've worn it for a certain amount of time, it'll
Yeah.
tell you like,
How it
this improves
affected.
your score by 5%, like when you
Okay.
eat protein and stuff like that. So that part
Oh,
is kind of
interesting.
cool.
Okay.
I need to take advantage of it more, but it is kind of cool to see that type
Yeah.
of thing. And again, like how like processed food and sugar and like takeout and stuff can impact your scores even.
Yeah, I know that Aura does that. Like I know it like talks to me or gives me a notification if like my sleep score is a certain number, and you're like, what did you do differently today? And it does like ask you well, you can pick multiple different things, or you could add in your own. So that is kind of good information. Like, a late night, like traveling, that stuff like that does affect your sleep, your recovery and stress. Like those are all really good information. I do know too that I think Aura started like some sort of like macro tracking
Oh,
within the
cool. Like
app.
where it connects.
Yeah. I'm not
Oh, you can
I
you
think you
can
can
log in
log
it.
it. Yeah, I think you can log it on your own, like on their own app too. I haven't dove in it just because I am an avid macros first user, so
Yeah.
it's like there's no need. But yeah, I think that there is something like that too, which is like, yeah, again, like like kind of like what you said with the Whoop, like it all integrates. Like what you
Yeah.
do, what you eat, what you put into your body does affect your sleep, your stress, like your recovery. I mean, all that stuff is very important.
Yeah. I think it'll be kind of cool to see what they do in the future. Like I know Whoop is doing they don't do it yet, but it's like the lab work that you did
Mhm.
through, I forget who you did it through, but I think
Function,
they're
yeah.
going to start doing that.
Oh, okay.
And it would be cool to see if like the fitness trackers start integrating with like macros first, or
Yeah,
the cycle tracking apps and stuff like that, just to see more how it all connects. But
yeah.
I'm sure they're going to continue adding things down the
Oh,
line.
yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, I mean, this is just the beginning, but to a point too, like to an extent, it's like how much information is too much information.
Yeah. Well, I will say, even with a lot of, like I said, with the journal and stuff, I don't
Mhm.
really look at all, like, there's so much
Yeah.
stuff on there that I don't even
Yeah.
look at all of it.
Yeah.
Not that I, like you said, why do we, do we really need to know every
Yeah.
single bit?
I mean, I think if you're like some Olympic star or you're a
Did I not tell you
processing.
I'm training for the Olympics?
Me too, diving. I'm just kidding. Yeah, if you're like a high performer athlete or whatever it is, like these information like definitely can help you to a certain extent, where you can kind of change how you train, how you recover, how you eat. Like this stuff can definitely help you if you're again that tier. Like for average people like us, like take
Yeah.
what's important to you and what you think is going to help you through your journey and then move on.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think all the fitness trackers are pretty good these days. So kind of like what
Yeah.
we were talking about earlier, you just need to figure out, like, Aura seems to be more sleep focused, and like cycle tracking, that kind of thing. Whoop more for working out and kind of pushing yourself in that manner. And they obviously, one's a strap and one's a ring. I was surprised. I kind of debated again when I was trying to decide what to get, because we talked about this, because I had seen with the Aura Ring that you don't want to wear it to work out, but both you and
Yeah.
Zan do, right?
I do, yeah, mine's already, like
Yeah.
yeah, mine is black, but it's turning into silver because of how scratched up it is.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I kinda, like, went with this, but I didn't know if it would be comfortable to sleep in, but I actually have been surprised that it's pretty comfortable to sleep in.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that with when I had it, it wasn't anything, like, that bothered me at all, and you could
Yeah.
still it was still pretty easy to use, like, I mean, I think the watch is like, the Apple Watch is way more
Oh, well, that's
bulkier
why
than
I was worried about it, because I think I tried to sleep in my Apple Watch before, and I, like, tore it off in the middle of the night. It was
yeah.
so uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I mean, to just kind of summarize it, I think that if you are it really depends on what you're wanting to track, but also too I think it's also good to also ask the question, like if you're someone that who tends to obsess with numbers, like really think about it and really think about, is this something that will really help you out. If it's the latter, then maybe think of a different way of tracking this kind of metric. But yeah, I think at the very end of it, at simplest, right? Like ask that question of what's more important to you, um, using it or tracking your sleep, tracking your workouts, heart rate. Like what is it that's important to you before you jump in? Because they're not cheap either.
Mm-mm. Yeah. And yeah, what are you gonna do with that information too? Like, if you do need to improve your sleep and you're wanting to get it, are you actually going to listen to what
Yeah,
it tells you? Because
exactly.
I will say first, I mean, knock on wood, thankfully my sleep has been very good lately, but it'll be like, you need to be in bed at 9 o'clock. I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
it's
I'm not
screaming at
gonna do
you.
that tonight. Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
hush up. I am watching one more episode. But yeah, kind of like, what are you going to do with that information? I think what you said, know yourself. If
Hmm.
you are somebody that tends to get kind of obsessive with it, then it might not be for you, because I can see how easily that would happen.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had to put my phone on the other side, because even if I would tell myself, don't look at it first thing, like my phone's right there and I just want to look at it.
Yeah.
So, got to kind of set some boundaries with it.
Exactly. Just like anything else in life.
Yeah, and ultimately with the steps and all that, it is about just movement. So if your fitness tracker said, if it dies or something, I know I have a lot of clients, and I've probably done it at one point. It's annoying when your watch or tracker dies, because
Guys,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, I went on a long walk and I didn't get those steps. But it's
Yeah.
like, well,
Didn't
no, you
count.
still got the steps. Like,
Exactly.
your body is keeping track, not just the fitness tracker.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I agree.
So yeah, anything else you want to add?
No, I think we've kind of broken down a little bit more. I mean, obviously, we're not experts at either or of devices, but in kind of just giving you guys our experience and what we like about it, and make your own decision, obviously. And I again at the very end, at the very least, at least really think about, is it something that you really need?
Yeah, totally agree. I've been happy with it overall. I haven't had it for super long, like
Yeah.
2 months, but I think it's cool to see the information. But at the end of the day, you take it with a grain of salt and listen to your body and get your movement. And you don't necessarily need a device to tell you that,
Yes.
but it is kind of, we live in a cool time where you can see it if you choose
It's
to.
it's a
And
very
I
good
like
point.
seeing it.
Yep.
So yeah, I'd recommend it if you like that stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Hopefully we covered as much as we can. But if you guys have
Yeah, if you have any
specific
questions,
questions,
send
yeah,
us a DM or a comment on it. But that's about it for me.
same here.
All right, we will see you guys next time.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.